Guys, Kenwood Sports, man. Back with another one, man. Back with another video for y'all. I'm about to get on this NFC Championship game, the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles in the Lincoln Financial Stadium. Okay? But listen, I got 293 subscribers right now. I appreciate everybody who subscribed, everybody who leaving a comment, and everybody who have liked the videos that I'm putting out. Okay? But back to this game, the NFC Championship. It was a complete blowout, 23-55. If my memory serves me correct, I know for sure the Eagles put up 55, and I know the Commanders didn't put over 25. It was like a 32-point game. But the whole tail of the tape for this game, man, is the turnovers, bro. 4 turnovers by the Commanders, bro. 4 turnovers and 4 scores, 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns by the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how you put the nail in the coffin. You're not out there kicking no field goals, trying to go for a fourth down. I think they went for 1 fourth down. It was 1 for 1 in fourth down territory and 5 for 10 on third down. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you want to put the nail in the coffin on a team, get some takeaways and take it to the end zone. And that's exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles did. Austin Eckler fumbled the ball. They had 2 other fumbles and they had an interception. That was just the whole game right there. Jaden Daniels, I feel, was the only one who came to play. 12-5 a record this year. I take my hat off to Jaden Daniels. He had a hell of a year. Like they've been saying, is without a doubt the best rookie season that we have ever seen from any quarterback. Okay? 12-5 record. That was probably the same record as the Baltimore Ravens. I will have to give Jaden Daniels not only the rookie of the year, but some votes. I could see him getting votes for MVP. He's had a hellified season, and I can't put enough exclamation on the type of season he's had. Enough emphasis on the type of season that Jaden Daniels has had. I'm gonna be riding with him. I roll with him versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. I roll with him versus the Lions. But I felt like, to be honest, I'm going to be honest, the only reason why I went with them versus the Lions because of Jared Goff. Jared Goff can be a turnover machine. This is a one-game scenario, playoff situations, okay? This is not a 2 out of 3, a 3 out of 5, or a 5 out of, or 4 out of 7, okay? This is a one-game scenario. Everybody who there belong there. Ain't no mistakes. You won. You got into the playoffs, and you play who you play. Jaden Daniels and the Lions, the Commanders end up playing the Lions, and they took the Lions out. One thing about Jared Goff, when he started throwing interceptions, he gonna keep throwing interceptions. Once he get himself in the hole, that I noticed, he gonna keep himself in the hole from trying to get out, throwing picks back to back to back. There was 4, I believe it was 4 turnovers in that Lions game. They had 5 in a previous game before that. That was the main reason why I took Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. They go for it on fourth down a lot. They give themselves second chances to drive the ball to the end zone. That was one of the reasons why I believed in them so much, along with the legs, okay? I believe they'll be back again. The Washington Commanders, they don't have a good enough overall team for me. I felt like the Eagles team, well, it's known fact that the Eagles team is stacked. Howie Roseman does a great job. One of the best GMs in the league are going out and pick up free agents. Okay. Earlier this year, y'all heard me say I made a video on Derrick Henry being the best free agent acquisition of the entire offseason. Okay. Saquon Barkley, he proved that to be wrong. Okay. Over 2,000 yards, over 400 yards in the playoffs. He's close to 5,000 yards. I believe his season is a few yards short right now of Terrell Davis when he was with the Denver Broncos in 1997 or 1998. One of those 2 years where they had their playoff runs. Okay. But Saquon Barkley, he went off this year. It's a guaranteed fact that he's the biggest part of the success of the Philadelphia Eagles. I watched damn near every game. I seen what Saquon was doing week by week. When the Eagles couldn't do nothing, they were stuck in the mud. Saquon Barkley was getting them out, breaking 65, 75, 80-yard touchdowns. He had a 65-yarder versus the Saints when the game was locked up and it wasn't going nowhere. He broke it open, okay? Don't get me wrong, Derrick Henry was a great acquisition, but the Baltimore Ravens did more last year without Derrick Henry going into the AFC Championship. I'm sorry, and we got to remember that the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not taking nothing away from Derrick Henry. I love what he's done. Okay, he had one of his best seasons ever. I believe he went over 2,000 yards before in the previous year when he was with the Tennessee Titans, but the Baltimore Ravens went to the AFC Championship last year. They won 13 games last year. I believe they went 13-4 if I'm not mistaken. This year I believe they lost 5 games. Okay. But at the same time, they were the #1 seed. They had that bye week, which they went into the playoff game and played the Texans. Then they end up playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship where they lost it. But back on this game, bro. The defense, and I'm going to say this about Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore, the corner that was acquired by the Washington Commanders from the Saints. Marshawn Lattimore, he started out his career as a great player. I loved what he brought to the table. He's still a good player, don't get me wrong, but I've been seeing a lot of dudes handle him. And that's not something you want to see if you're a Commander or whatever team he's going to be on going forward. The Commanders, he's getting handled by AJ Brown out there. Okay? He was getting handled by AJ Brown. I'm starting to see some slippage in his game. I know he's been injured a lot, but I'm starting to see some slippage in his game. AJ had a good day out there on him. I believe AJ had the most receiving yards for the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he did. But as far as the Washington Commanders go, Jaden Daniels needs some help, man. He can't be the leading passer and the leading rusher. We already know how small Jaden Daniels is, but he continues to run the football at a high level, okay? He's very fast. He has an arm, and I already said it before. He's not a quarterback that can run. He's a quarterback that can pass and a quarterback that can run, okay? He's not a runner that can pass. He's a passer that can run, and there's a difference in that. Okay? So next year, I'm expecting the Washington Commanders to make more moves in the offseason to get more pieces to help Jaden Daniels, more receivers besides Ertz. Ertz was a tight end, but another receiver besides Terry McLaurin to help this team's offense go when they need some help, when they need to get out of a tough spot. Because the running game, Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, who I like. Austin Eckler is a tough runner. He only played 12 games this year, so his stats was probably a little bit down. He still had a decent amount of production for 12 games for who he is and what he does, but they're going to need more production out of the backfield, so Jaden Daniels will not be running the ball and putting his health in jeopardy. Okay, he's already making those extra plays on offense, extending the offensive plays so they'll have a chance to get down the field and score a touchdown instead of a field goal. I told you they was the best at the 4th down conversions in the league. In the playoffs, one of the best in the regular season. Okay, so looking at the coaching matchup in this game, Sirianni. A lot has been talked about Sirianni over these years that he's been the head coach for them, but these guys are in a second Super Bowl in 3 years. You can't say nothing about Sirianni right now. You got to take your hat off to him. I know they got a loaded squad. I know they got Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter, all these different young guys on their football team. Going forward, the Philadelphia Eagles is, if they keep this same squad, man, and they keep this same momentum, they can be the ones who dominate the NFC. I don't think the Lions they lost. Okay, they did lose. I think they lost Ben Johnson, and then they lost Aaron Glenn. Both of them went to be head coaches. Aaron Glenn, he went to the Jets. Ben Johnson, he went over to the Chicago Bears. But going forward, I don't know how good they're going to be. They have a talented squad. I don't know if the window is going to be closed or what. That's the way the NFL works. Every year is somebody new, okay? It's a new team that's moving up and competing. I definitely want to see the Washington Commanders move up in the rankings and be one of those top teams competing in the NFC period. I know they're going to be a problem for the NFC East. Okay, if it wasn't for those 4 turnovers, and I'm gonna credit Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna credit that offensive line. I'm gonna credit the Eagles all around the board because they got a talented football team. And when they done turn the football over and they execute on their plays, they execute their offense properly. They're a hard team to beat. You can just look at their record and see that I believe they only lost 3 or 4 games the whole year. All right. Washington Commanders was one of those games. They had 5 turnovers that previous game that they lost to the Eagles, but the Washington Commanders still end up finding a way to win that game. This game, like I said, 4 turnovers that's converted into touchdowns, is no way you're gonna win that game. There's no way you're gonna win 4. The game was out of hand anyway by the time the interception happened with Jaden Daniels. So they slowed the game down. They sped the game up for him. He wanted to play a certain pace of football. Jaden Daniels, he wanted to play a certain pace of football, but in the playoffs, it's sped up. The bigger the game, the higher the stakes, and guys amplify their game, amping their game up, especially on the defensive end. Okay? So look for Washington to be better next year, guys. Look for Washington to be better. And I salute the Eagles moving on to a 2nd Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, young quarterback, still got a lot of time ahead of him. Saquon Barkley, it ain't much I can say about him, bro. The dude is everything to the Philadelphia Eagles, and him being there, it changed the whole year. It changed the whole squad. It changed the whole year. Okay. AJ and Devontae, this is like probably one of the best duos. This is guaranteed one of the top 2 duos in the league right now. If Jalen come to play with that passing game, it's hard to beat those guys because you know what Saquon gonna do when he running the ball along with Dallas Goedert in the catching game. Okay, so guys, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you also hit the notification bell, cause I got the best sports channel on YouTube and ain't nothing changed. All right, I'll get back with y'all in the next one.